say, if you see a woman running, that the next words that come out of her mouth is gonna help women, become more strong, then don't vote for her. If you hear a black person get involved and all of a sudden they start talking about how we gotta, talk about reparations, don't vote for that. Or any man start talking about we need to uplift women. Or don't vote for him.
I'm a male feminist.
Right.
Run. Don't walk.
Don't walk. If all of a sudden you start seeing a person that is would be the first woman and is actually a man, run, don't walk. If you see anybody that's in office or the school board and they've got purple hair and they're calling themselves the authority figure, run, don't walk. If they start talking about we want to save the penguins and the pandas, but they don't care about abortion, it's about saving people in the womb. Run, don't walk.
If your governor cares more about his hair and not about the actual residents, then I would say run, don't walk. California wildfires, so that's a mess. Now, this actually was pretty much preventable. Have you looked at the way it looks? Yeah. The Palisades? Like, I was looking at the photos. I put some photos up here. I was looking at the photos and the videos, and I'm like, look at this place burning. Trump said before that he had warned Gavin Newsom about that this could happen, and to do something about their land, and the reserving water, the reservoirs and reserving water, and that went ignored. I think he refused to sign a water supply bill, water storage bill, refused to sign it. And so they're all dried out. And so they ran out of water. They ran out of water, you guys. But anyways, so here's a clip of Trump talking about this a little bit, and it's kind of interesting.
On California, Mr. President, during the pandemic, you often said that you didn't believe that you should bail out blue states that you believe were being mismanaged. Given your criticism of Governor Gavin Newsom, are you willing to work with him, and do you believe that federal aid should be provided to California for as long as it takes?
Well, it's very sad because I've been trying to get Gavin Newsom to allow water to come. You'd have tremendous water up there. They send it out to the Pacific because they're trying to protect a tiny little fish, which is in other areas, by the way, called a smelt. And for the sake of a smelt, they have no water. They had no water in the fire hydrants today in Los Angeles. It was a terrible thing. And we're going to get that done. It's going to finally be done. I got it done from the federal side, and he didn't want to sign it, but it's not going to happen again like that. There's no reason. Can you imagine? You have farmers that don't have any water in California. They have plenty of water. They don't have a drought. They send it out to the Pacific, and it's crazy. So what's happening in California is a true tragedy. I know those areas very well. I have many friends living in those houses. That is a true tragedy. Nobody ever thought. Virtually Beverly Hills and areas around Beverly Hills are being decimated. The biggest homes, some of the most valuable homes in the world are just destroyed. I don't even know. You talk about a tax base. If those people leave, you're going to lose half your tax base of California. This is a true tragedy, and it's a mistake of the governor, and you could say the administration. They don't have any water. They didn't have water in the fire hydrants. They don't have water. And yet they have, the water comes from, where? Up north. And it comes down at levels, they give millions and millions of barrels of gallons of water that they have, and they send it out into the Pacific. For the Pacific, it's like a drop, it's nothing. But for California, it would take care of the whole state. So what's happened is a tragedy, and the governor has not done a good job. With that being said, I got along well with him when he was governor. We worked together very well, and we would work together. I guess it looks like we're going to be the one having to rebuild it. But what happened there, I don't think there's anything that I've ever seen quite like it. And the insurance companies are going to have a big problem because you're talking about big, big dollars.
So the insurance companies, they stopped the fire hazard part of their insurance policy. So all the other stuff is there except for that fire hazard. They canceled those on, I believe, 72,000 customers. And so that's interesting.
My conspiracy with California is that the Democrats are just trying to destroy it. I mean, think about it. They have first of all, it's already Sodom and Gomorrah there to begin with.
Right.
Secondly, they've got all these homeless people and drug. What is it? What's the drug? Fentanyl crisis in that state. They've got people have left anyway. Like a lot of people, what's his name? Joe Rogan was there for like 30 years and he left.
Texas now.
You know what I mean? They're all leaving because it's just not a place to live anymore. Then they have the smash and grabs where if you take $1,000, they won't prosecute you or send you to jail. And now they've got these fires. You're surrounded by water and then your state is just burning. You know what I mean? What is going on in California? They're just trying to destroy that state.
It's clear
in general. They've got all kinds of illegal. They have a huge illegal migration problem over there. It's just a nightmare. And now this.
It's not like it's a hurricane or tornado or tsunami or stuff like that, right? We're not talking about that. That is an actual natural disaster. Now, well, I do understand that brush fires do happen in heavily wooded areas or areas that have a lot of land and stuff like that. That can happen. I understand. And the heat, that's how it happens. The heat with the wind will push it, which is how it gets things. Which is how these burns happen so fast. I think it got up to 60 miles an hour wind chill in parts of California when this happened. So I can understand that can happen, but for the most part, what they're saying though is that this is, even some of the farmers are just like, this is actually pretty preventable.
I mean, look, the mayor, their lady mayor is a moron. Gavin Newsom is a moron, woke moron. Then they've got all of these lesbian firefighters that they put more concern into DEI than they did about merit when they were having all these firefighters put in. It's like, what are you guys doing? Are you trying to burn this place down? Are you trying to just completely ruin California with all of this? If it's not crime, it's drugs. If it's not drugs, it's migration, migrants. If it's not migrants, this is brush fire.
Yeah, Karen Bass is the mayor of Los Angeles. And she was asked about, this reporter is like, she's coming back from Ghana. Okay, so this is what this put that in perspective. And they catch her at the airport and he's asking her, your city is burning to the ground. Do you have anything to say about that? This woman goes completely silent.
The knowing smirk on her face, the duper's delight. But Karen Bass's grin isn't the only reason her state has turned against her. She was famously blasted for being in Africa at the start of the fires and then remaining mute when questioned about her absence by the media.
Madam Mayor, David Blevins from Sky News in the UK. Where fire chiefs say that they're really stretched to the limit and running out of water. What have you got to say to that? Have you no response to that? Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Can you back up? Appreciate it.
Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster? No apology for them? Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
And it seems like the entire city is turning against the mayor, with this radio station blasting her incompetence and calling for her resignation.
Urgently call for the immediate recall of Mayor Karen Bass due to her gross mismanagement and failure to effectively respond to the devastating 2020 fires. In the wake of these catastrophic fires, our city has been left in crisis. Water supplies have been severely strained. Billions of taxpayer dollars have been misallocated or left unaccounted for, and countless lives have been lost. Families have been displaced, homes destroyed, livelihoods shattered, yet Mayor Bass has been absent from the front lines, choosing to travel abroad while her constituents suffer. Despite the tireless efforts of our first responders, the city has been woefully unprepared to ensure the safety and well-being of its residents. Basic resources such as water and emergency services have been inadequate, and leadership has been nowhere to be found when it was needed most. We demand the immediate resignation of Mayor Karen Bass due to her failure to lead during this unprecedented crisis. It goes on. I'm signing the petition right now during the commercial break. And let's put a link on our website for it, because I think everybody, it's not only for residents of LA.
Fire victims also unleashed on the mayor for cutting budgets.
The lady that cut the funding from the fire hydrants.
Karen Bass.
Yeah. Fire her.
They have no water.
They actually have no water?
No, I actually asked him, this guy right here. I said, how do you have no water? He said, we have no water.
Oh my God.
We have nothing.
But not everyone is against Karen Bass. The woke left are blaming racism for the criticism against the mayor.
Let me tell you something, she's got a spine of steel. Yes. And she's also been a black woman in America a very long time, so none of this is new to her. We're mad because we're tired of it. We're tired for her. We're mad for her, and we're going to stand. Listen, I don't know how you here, but I'm happy you're here. Because somebody needs to
stand, behind her and support her. Because how she handling it, you can see it in her face. She stays calm. But think about this. She has the city to take care of. She does not have time to hear from these reporters.
She is also not mayor of every municipality in California. Yes. There are people that are mad that she didn't fix the fires in Malibu. She's not the mayor of Malibu.
You're right.
What is she supposed to do in the city she's not the mayor of?
I don't know what that meant. That was crazy.
Stupid.
These strong black women who say they want to run countries and cities and states, and this is what you get. No answer, standing from a door that says no exit.
She had,
you know what I mean? Right there showed you
no
her
answers.
confidence. You stand there, you want to be the mayor. I feel not sorry for her. Your job is to take care of the city and talk to the press. That is your job. You made yourself a public figure. You were supposed to do this. All this, she's a black woman, is BS. And
she needs somebody to stand by behind her.
Really? But
are you kidding me?
Yeah, she has those people.
Well, first of all, she got the votes to be the mayor. Yeah. So I think people were standing behind her up until now.
Could have had Larry Elder.
Could have had him.
You got Gavin Newsom. These people voted all of these people in. California is Democrat from top to bottom. Mm-hmm. And they got Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris, this woman, Gavin Newsom, a bunch of morons running this country, and that state, and they continuously vote for these people. And then there's fires and there's crime, and then all of a sudden they just don't understand, and they're still trying to bring racism in it. Well, she's a woman.
And then the whole DEI thing came in. The chief, the fire chief, she is focused on getting more inclusive people into the fire department. And guys, the focus in Los Angeles, California in general, is this woke, inclusive, make sure you get all the right demographics in these companies to represent the show. We're so super inclusive. And I feel like the focus needs to be on helping the citizens, not just with fires, just in general, with the citizens of these communities. And they're not doing that. They're too focused on the wrong thing. Stop it.
We're going to burn this whole country to the ground if we keep putting DEI in front of common sense.
Right. So look at this lady. She talked, this fire person. She's talking about DEI hire, basically.
Let's go back to the devastating California fires and the DEI madness that has afflicted the state, the far-left Democrat stronghold of California, where the LA Fire Department Assistant Chief Christine Larson has made statements like this. When we talk about woke lunacy, folks, this is what we mean.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Where does one start? I don't care if 0.5% of firefighters are female. The last thing I think any sane person cares about if faced with a deadly fire is the diversity of those who are rescuing me. Can you believe she actually said there, it doesn't matter if she can't carry a man to safety because he shouldn't have got himself in the wrong place? That's the attitude we've got in the fire department.
She's victim shaming.
You hear that?
She's victim shaming because you can't lift a man, and probably none of these other women can do that. when they're in harm's way, in trouble, then you say he's in the wrong spot.
He got himself in
the wrong spot.
It's because she was offended. She was offended by someone saying she can't carry a grown man, and so her response to that is to take a jab
at the victim. So her response should have been, actually, I can.
We trained.
You just could have said that, but you didn't say that. What you said was he got himself in the wrong place. So if he gets burned, it's because of him, not me.
Yes.
What's more important is that when I go rescue someone, I look like them.
Right.
That makes absolutely no sense at all. And this is the kind of buffoonery that you wonder why this place is burning. This is the buffoonery that's running this whole entire state.
Now, so the mayor also, she was being very smug when she came back when she finally did decide to talk. She was pretty smug with the way she was talking, and people didn't like it.
Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass has been slammed after she released a video update on the devastating fire situation. But the mayor was promptly blasted across the country for appearing to smile, grin and smirk her way through the speech.
Angelenos, we're still going through it, and to any of you and all of you that have experienced a loss, the grief, the anger, the just utter shock. I've seen the devastation. It is unbelievable the amount of loss that people have experienced. But we have to get through this crisis, and I know that we will. I was at the Sylmar command post today, and I saw the work of our first responders and how they've been able to defeat the fires in certain areas. We know we still have much more to go, and we know the winds are going to kick up again. But we got to stick together. We got to stand strong. And then we have to rebuild our city. We're the nation's second largest city, one of the greatest cities in the world. And we stay together, and we will rebuild an amazing city. So thank you, Angelenos, and my thoughts and prayers are out to all of you that are going through unbelievable loss and pain today. We will get through this. Thank you.
And this isn't the first time the mayor has inappropriately smiled during a briefing.
The way they are moving, the unpredictability of how they're moving, the swiftness with how they're moving, you are not going to outrun these fires. If you stay, you're going to die in them, and it's not worth it. So if you're told to evacuate, get the hell out. Save yourselves. You can rebuild, because we are going to rebuild.
Again, I say this is not... There's something's going on in California where they don't seem to give a about it. They don't. It's not just the wildfires. It's in general. Like
it's the response that's telling on them.
Most of the celebrities started leaving LA because of the homeless problem and the fentanyl problem.
It's like they wanted a factory reset.
They want to burn it down and rebuild it.
Yeah, it's kind of like they want a factory reset.
Like what happened in Hawaii.
What do
when Oprah was over there, magically her house didn't get demolished, but she was over there trying to get interviews, and they're like, get out of here. You know what I mean? They didn't want to deal with her. You know, it's like, why is it that, you know what I mean? It's just like, and look, I know a lot of people there. There's some people there that are Republicans. They didn't vote for these people, and I feel bad for them. Yeah. But honestly, I don't want to rebuild in California. I'm getting out of here because this isn't a hurricane. This is something that could have been prevented, which means if I rebuild, it could be prevented again, and you're not going to prevent it.
And then they cut the budget $17 million, right? They cut the budget, the fire
insurance
budget.
companies quitting the fire.
How do you cut the budget of the essential workers of the fire department? Gavin Newsom got approached, I guess you can say, confronted is a better word, by this resident. And he's just so political.
A local mother and lawyer from the Palisades confronts Governor Gavin Newsom over wildfire recovery efforts.
Sky News' Martha Kellner first reported on Rachel Darvish, who urged Newsom to take action, saying her daughter's school was destroyed, and she approached Governor Newsom as he was about to enter an SUV. Watch this.
Gavin Newsom? That's the governor. That's the governor. Governor, I live here, governor. That was my daughter's school, governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
California Governor Gavin Newsom is being criticised by some for water mismanagement as hydrants ran dry while fires multiplied.
So I have to get self-service.
So let's get it. Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now. And funds to immediately get reimbursements, individual assistance, and to help you. I'm devastated. I'm so sorry, especially for your daughter. I have 4 kids. Losing the school.
Everyone who went to school there, they lost their homes. They lost 2 homes because they were living in one and building another. Governor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
We're getting the resources to help rebuild.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing
to fill the hydrants. I would fill them up personally. You know that.
I literally have.
I would fill up the hydrants myself.
I would. I understand.
But would you do that?
I would do whatever I can.
But you're not. I see do you know there's water dripping over there, Governor? There's water coming out there. You can use it.
He's like, God, where's my security?
All right. My house didn't burn down.
But look, y'all, this is ridiculous. And
I care about the most are these people who are normal people.
Yeah, I know.
These celebrities, look, it's sad they're home.
They got 8 homes.
But they're very wealthy people. They have other places to go. They'll be okay.
They're fine.
But these regular people who believe the Democrat dream, are now realizing it's just a dream.
It was a nightmare. It wasn't even a dream.
You know what I mean? They don't have homes to run to.
Yeah, no, it's
and
really
this is going to be devastating. You know, they're going to need all kinds of food banks and clothes and things shipped in, all because these morons are not running the state well.
There was one point I was seeing some videos where the firefighters, they even said, they're like, there's really nothing at this point that we can do. We just have to let the fire just burn. And what they were resorting to is just saving the pets and stuff like that. They were trying to go, and there was some firefighters that are trying to save like grandfather clocks. They were getting things out that may be valuable or keepsakes and stuff like that. Just things that this is like somebody wanted a photo album. They were just literally taking things out because they can't do anything about the damn fires at that point. They're like, it's just going to literally probably just have to burn out.
Another weird thing they got going on are people looting. Why are you looting right now? It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just
whole city.
The crime is out of control. This is out of control. The migrants are out of control. The drugs are out of control. LA's a wasteland. I mean, this man didn't seem to care about this woman at all.
No.
He just wants to get into that SUV and get the heck out of here. And, she's just trying to make him uncomfortable, which he deserves.
Yeah.
But it's just...
Yeah. It's a mess.
What are you going to do next time?
I do feel
what
bad
do you do this time?
Yeah.
Did you vote for this person?
Right.
That's my question to her.
See, that's the thing, though. It's the same thing we were saying with
Brandon Johnson.
I was about to say that. With Brandon Johnson, Chicago mayor. Like, this is what we're saying. How many times do you have to be warned that you are voting against your own interest when you vote for these people? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how many times? And so when you keep voting for Democratic policies, this isn't the result you're going to get. This is 9 times out of 10. I want to say 10 times out of 10, but I'm leaving some room there. 9 times out of 10, this is what you're going to get if you're going to have a Democratic leader of your city or state. This is how it works.
Again, they could have had Larry Elder, but they got him. Larry Elder went in on housing. He went in on the school choice.
He had ideas about how to reserve water.
But they don't want a conservative in their state. And so they voted for this moron yet again.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I mean, they don't call you California for nothing.
Yeah.
You guys are just completely lost. And it takes stuff like this for all of a sudden, you guys, just like what's happening in Chicago. All of a sudden, everybody, I hate Brandon Johnson. It's like, this is who he is.
He never said he wasn't.
You had Lori Lightfoot before, and she was the exact same thing, if not, and he was worse, but I mean, she was the same.
Gavin Newsom was always Gavin Newsom.
But when the shit hits the fan, then we want the adults back in the room.
Yeah.
We want the people who have order and structure. There's too many migrants in this, and now we love Donald Trump. We love the Republicans. Why? Because the adults are back in the room. When the adults come back in the room, everything goes back in order. All of this nonsense of people out of order, women trying to be men, men trying to be women, letting kids just be the parents, make their decisions. Migrants just flooding the, okay, we're okay with there being needles all over the ground. It's just, this is homelessness. Let's not get rid of homelessness. Let's just build tent cities.
And these, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's just these, and then those homeless people are. Well, it looks like like a zombie land. When you see those, have you guys seen the videos of them? Just, it's the saddest thing you'll ever see. Like seeing them just kind of, there's like people who just walk through and just show what it looks like in downtown, Los Angeles, Skid Row. These people are so filled with drugs and alcohol that they just like zombies. They don't even move.
And if you go to every Democratic like city, this is you'll see a variation of this in New York, Chicago, 100%. California, Washington D.C. You will see you'll see a variation of this in every Democratic like state, city. Yeah. Because this is what it means to be a Democrat. You know what I mean? And anytime you push back on, you're out of touch and you don't want to you want to keep everything the way it was, and you're letting the white man run everything, and women are just like men. I mean, all of this crap, and it's just like, no, I like order. I want to go to the grocery store and not be bankrupt to buy regular food. I don't want to be robbed because the city has let criminals just run the state. Yeah. Or run the city. I don't want to see my house burned to the ground because they didn't get enough water when you're surrounded by water.
Yeah, I know, right?
You know what I mean?
I want to save some fish. They have a governor that was interested in saving fish and not preparing for something like this.
And was he really saving fish, or is that just a cover-up? Because they're doing something else.
No, it's not really as a cover-up, but it's funny that he used it.
Right, you know what I mean? But it's just like, even though that you can use a fish point. That's how dumb you think the people that vote for you are. I can talk about fish, and they'll be okay with that. And you know what? They will, because they voted for him. You know what I mean? And so this is just it. It's like, you guys, these people run for office, you got to really look at their platforms.
Well, and their voting record and how,
who they are. If you see the word DEI anywhere,
run.
If you see, I had to say, if you see a woman running, the next words that come out of her mouth is, we got to help women, become more strong, or any kind of thing like that. You start hearing that right after she speaks, then don't vote for her. If you hear a black person get involved, and all of a sudden they start talking about how we gotta, talk about reparations, don't vote for that person.
Yeah, they're not for you.
That's not a person that is for everyone. That's a person who's specifically for something else.
Yeah, they're dangling carrots.
Yeah, it's called Marxism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or any man. Start talking about, we need to uplift women. Or don't vote for him.
I'm a male feminist.
Right.
Run. Don't walk.
Don't walk. If all of a sudden you start seeing a person that is would be the first woman and is actually a man, run, don't walk. If you see anybody that's in office or the school board and they've got purple hair and they're calling themselves the authority figure, run, don't walk. If they start talking about, we want to save the penguins and the pandas, but they don't care about abortion, it's about saving people in the womb. Run, don't walk.
If your governor cares more about his hair
gel,
and not about the actual residents, then I would say run, don't walk.
Yeah. If they pander to your emotions, run, don't walk.
They're allowing criminals to steal anything under $1,000,
right?
And you can they can get away with
migrants come in and the migrant goes up to the camera and puts their middle finger up and they don't care. Run, don't walk. I mean, and how many times did they said it? Do you think Kamala Harris was going to be any better? This is just the way it is. These celebrities were all stomping for Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom, and now they're all crying and running like the Gremlins. Remember when Gremlins, when they were in the movie theater and it exploded, they were like, ah! And now they're all, ah! It's like, yeah, you guys voted for him and stumped for him.
I was thinking,
with the popcorn bags.
He put the popcorn bags.
I mean, it is, when Democrats get in office, it's just chaos. This is what it is. It's chaos. And everything, think about it. It's not like this in any, like you look at Republic, go to Florida.
DeSantis,
it's not happening. Indiana.
DeSantis has under control. DeSantis has that under control.
I'm not saying there's no crime, but I'm saying it ain't this. There is some order that goes on in these the states, that these Democratic states, they're just complete chaos.
Yeah.
And now Democrats are leaving.
But when it comes to these wildfires, I really do feel bad for the people, rich or poor or middle class, that lost their belongings, even if you're a super wealthy person and you may have lost your keepsakes and stuff like that. Like, a fire is, actually any kind of disaster is horrible, but to see your stuff burn, there's something I mean, that's like tugging on my heartstrings, because there's something very sad about that. Because some people are standing in front of their homes, and they're like, I've been here for 40 years. I've had this home for 45 years. I had this home for 20 years, and I'm watching it burn, watching everything you have in there just go. And so I really do, like, my prayers go out to these people, because it's really very difficult, I'm sure, to deal with that. And then on top of that, deal with some terrible officials that cut the budget. You got insurance companies cutting your policies. Like the devastation. It's like insult to injury with all these added things to it. Hearing Gavin and Karen and the fire chiefs and the DEI and all this stuff. Hearing that on top of seeing your life just pretty much burn, all your stuff just go down, is very, very difficult to navigate through. So I really want to give my prayers.
I mean, it's just funny because people like Melissa Milano, her home burned. Yeah. Right. And so here she is trying to get her horses and everything all rounded up. And I feel for her. That's horrible.
I feel for anybody.
But, she's the same woman that when Hurricane Helene happened, and those people were not getting aid. They were getting $750 and they weren't even getting that. And they were giving it to migrants. She was the main one. Yeah. Hey, we have to help the people that come here illegally. Yeah. So you want it. Yeah. You want the feeling of feeling. You want people to feel for you. Right. But you didn't have that feeling. And that's the point is. It's like you can't. It's like I know that sometimes, like, the reason why a lot of these people get voted in is because they're able to make people think that, like, socially, we need to make everybody feel good. But if there is no order, there's chaos.
Yeah. All right, you guys, leave some comments below. Let us know your thoughts, and we'll see you guys in the next video.